Buy dirt, find the one you can't live without.
Well, hello everybody. Welcome to Buying Dirt. We talk about everything real estate and outdoor related. Hope everybody's having a good day today. Mr. Keith Kavix, he's another agent in the office, who's usually here. He's working at the courthouse today. He's a bailiff, part-time bailiff over there. So when they have a trial going on, he's busy at work. So wishing a good day to Keith. We have a special guest with us today, Mr. Cody Culbertson. Cody, how are you, man?
I'm doing good, Mr. Bruce. I appreciate you having me. How are you?
Absolutely. Yeah, we're good. We're glad to have you. And the reason why we wanted to have Cody on the show is he has started a business that's pretty unique, and it's right down our alley. We work with people who buy and sell land and homes out in the country. And we talk to people from all over the country, and one of the questions that a lot of people have now is, they want to know where their food comes from. And that's why we wanted to have Cody on the show. So, Cody, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I love that introduction. That's what I'm about, too. My name's Cody Culbertson. I'm originally from South Alabama, but probably 20 years ago we moved over here to Brookhaven, Mississippi. My mother's from here originally, and my dad had a lot of construction work going on in the Louisiana, New Orleans area, and
right.
It was just a better fit. And anyway, we moved to a little place out on 51, first place we lived, and ironically that's where I live now. I was able to buy that place back a few years ago, and as far as the business that I run, I was living in a neighborhood up in Kansas City, if you can believe that. And I was working for FedEx, and I loved the job, and I loved living there. But my wife wanted to move back to where I was from, and so we did. And all that while, I was watching this guy on YouTube who was living out in Wyoming, and he was battling the same thing that most people in the cattle business battle, which is the lack of profits. I probably would phrase it as from growing cattle up to weaning and then, selling them to the feedlot, things like that. And the result of that led him to start selling his own meat. And when he took that approach, he was able to transform what was a situation that was really going to cause him to eventually go bankrupt to keep him in the cattle business. And it helped him really fortify his family as much as anything so that they could help him be involved in that. They helped him package boxes. He did all kinds of videos on, the price of a cow, what a cow's worth, and how many people that handle a cow, especially once it's slaughtered, but the rancher who raises it does all of the hardest work, and they get paid the least. And once he did all of that, that kind of opened my eyes to the ideology that that's actually a viable business. But, I didn't really have a path to doing it until we moved back here, and the place that we bought had a little bit of land with it, and I started telling myself, you know what, I'm gonna do that. I don't know when I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna do that at some point. I'm gonna give that a try. And my dad, there was actually a herd of cattle on the place whenever we bought it that a guy was leasing it from the previous owners, and he just sold us that herd of cattle, and I did everything you could do with them. I mean, I learned everything you could learn about them, from calving to age to how good their teeth are when they get older, how that makes their health decline because they can't eat grass as well. Just everything about nutrition and just a crash course in it. And this is all like so far before I ever learned anything about meat and selling beef in particular. And, it just got to a point to where I was like, hey, this might work out. And if I can keep it going, then the next thing I did was sold all those cattle and bought a bunch of purebreds, and that's when I started getting into the genetical side of it and how much that's important in, feeding them out. And then the first one I actually slaughtered was one that I pulled from that original herd, and I fattened him up till he was about 1,300 pounds, and we took him down and have him harvested, and I just had already pre-sold it in like quarters or halves. And once that was completely sold off, I penciled it all out, and I was like, hey, we made some money here. And the cattle that I had before, where I just sold them to the sale barn or whatever, I didn't make any money from that, especially not when you add up, your fertilizer and your feed and, just the constant care of mother cows, which is a year-round trait. So I was like, this might actually be the path I'd like to take. And then that advanced a little further into last year. At the beginning of the year, I had 2 or 3 that I had, as opposed to the one I started with that I slaughtered. I had 2 or 3 that we harvested, and I sold all them with no problem. And then I got to thinking, well, how would we do it more than just by word of mouth? I mean, how would we become like somebody that customers would reach out to all the time? And it just kind of carried on from there. I mean, we can get more into that, but it was just a process.
Right. Well, you were mentioning to me earlier that, you have registered cattle. It's quality breeds. Right. And you mentioned there was 2 components. I want you to talk a little bit about that. What makes this process important? Why is this important? Why is what you're offering different than what someone else can offer?
Right. So there's a lot of people. I say a lot of people. I mean, I've met several people and have seen on social media several people who raise beef themselves. But a lot of them do it in different ways. They might say, "Hey, here's one live on the hoof. You want to come down here and pick it out? You can, and take it to the butcher." And then they do it that way, and it provides a cheaper option. But they also get all their beef at once. That's one option. Then I know of other people who do the harvesting either themselves or they take it to the butcher themselves and then they sell the meat like I was doing. But what the difference in that is and what we've come to be now is that you can't guarantee how good it'll be. And right. You can guarantee that it'll be, legitimate or genuine, which is a lot better than you can get in the store. I mean, you know nothing about those cattle and how they were raised or the meat, but to get down to your question, we raise certified Angus beef, and it's a mix of black and reds. That seems to be the popular thing nowadays. But the difference in ours and probably anyone else's is that we have a specific genetic line that focuses on 3 qualities of that animal, and that is marbling, carcass quality, and feed capacity. And when you culminate that genetic line of purebred cattle with our feed line that we've had several people work on with us to get the right mix together of grain finished cattle, whole ingredients. We don't put any, fertilizers or sprays on it that would be detrimental to you. But when we got all that together, we were able to produce prime graded beef, USDA prime. You've got 3 different selections from the USDA. It's right. Choice, Select, and Prime being the best. And once we were able to get that, we were like, hey, not only are we just selling beef now, but we're selling top of the line beef. I mean, no, it's not Wagyu, but, Wagyu's kind of a new trend. Yeah. But this was something that people could relate to is what I thought. And even though it's priced a little bit higher because it's a higher quality cut of beef, what we've experienced in the short time we've done it at that level is that once people try it, they don't really seem to care too much about the price. And I don't use that as a way to, take money from people or take extra from people. But my point is I was always worried about the price. I was always worried about people. There's no way someone's going to buy this, but I was wrong. People will buy it if they believe in it.
And I agree, especially when it comes to beef or pork or anything like that. People recognize quality, and they're willing to pay for it. You see it all the time. You go out to a really nice restaurant, and it's some of these prices at restaurants can be pretty outrageous, and yet people continue to do it. They continue to spend money because it's quality.
That's right.
So let's say someone's listening today and they say, man, this sounds great. This sounds like something I want to check into. How do they do that? Where do they go?
Right. So we don't have like a physical point of sale yet, such as a restaurant or a butcher shop. We're working on that. I've got some hard ideas on it that we would set up pretty soon, I hope. But as of right now, we're online, or you can call me. Our website is culbertsoncattleco.com. And you can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I think we're on Threads as well, LinkedIn. I mean, we're on most all of them, and YouTube in particular. We got a YouTube series that we're working on now just about the journey that it's taken to get here and how we got into this, similar to what we just put in a nutshell in that conversation. But on our website, it's very user-friendly. You can go through there and buy. We also sell pork. You mentioned that a moment ago, but we do sell pork as well. And it carries the same grade and promises that all of our beef does. But you can buy pork or beef or mixtures. We have boxes of beef that have mixtures of pork and beef in it, or you can buy them separate, beef or pork, whichever one you like. You can also do add-ons by the cut, or we even sell bulk. So all of this is 100% able to ship to you no matter where you are in the country. We ship to anywhere in the lower 48. And if you're local here to Brookhaven or even in the surrounding areas that's within a reasonable distance, I can even hand deliver it to you, or I can meet you somewhere and pick it up, or you can come to my house and pick it up once we get it ready.
That sounds great. Sounds great. All right. I have another question for you.
Go ahead.
Typical day on your ranch. Give us an idea of what a typical day is like on a cattle farm.
Well, I mean, on a cattle farm, I can definitely give you that, but on mine, it's probably different than most. I mean, one thing I do want to point out before I answer that question is the business side of this, of the cattle world in general. It seems to be a little bit antiquated. It's almost like people don't realize that it is a business, and that, taking losses or writing them off on your taxes or whatever, yeah, that's one operation you can go about doing, but we set out to make it a legitimate business, not so we could be filthy rich, but so that we could actually, continue to do it and it be viable without us losing. And the reason I say all that is to say I used to want to be a cowboy, and that's why I wanted to get into this business. I wanted to be a cowboy. I wanted to ride the back of a horse. I wanted to rope. I wanted to get cattle up. I wanted to vaccinate them, do everything we do. But the difference in that and a cattleman, which is what I consider myself now, is the entrepreneurial business aspect of it.
That's right.
And so a typical day on my ranch doesn't always consist of, hey, we got to go do a bunch of cattle stuff. We do that, and I'll share that with you here just in a moment. But, I mean, we have a couple rental properties that we're working on that are around my place as well. And then we do a lot of my time is spent on the customer service aspect. And I think you can ask and read reviews on my website or anyone that's bought from me, and they'll tell you that that I pride myself on customer service. I want every customer to be happy, and I will do that to whatever length it takes within reason. I mean, there are certainly people who are unreasonable, but I think anyone who's ever told me they didn't like something, I mean, I'm willing to go above and beyond, go the second mile, if you will, to make sure that they're satisfied with it. But in regards to your question, and I didn't mean to get too far off.
No, that's
there,
all right. That's good.
In regards to your question, I mean, at my particular house where we have our little bit of land and where we have our little feed lot where we feed them out at, when we have cattle that are being fed out, I mean, they're kind of the top priority.
Yeah.
I mean, you can ask my wife. I spend day and night up there because when you get them to that stage, I mean, you're like so close to the finished product. It's kind of like buying land. When you get to the closing, I mean, you just want to sign your name and go do whatever you want to do on your property.
That's right.
So when we get them that stage, I tend to pamper them, and I mean, we feed them usually once a day, a certain ration, and depending on where they are in the lead up to the harvest date, we might be on a smaller ration or a larger ration. So mixing the rations is something that's important. Now, right now in the stage I'm at, still being early on, I have it pre-mixed. But what we're trying to get to is where we have our own commodity sheds and we have our individual ingredients that we mix it ourselves in a mixer. That's something we're working toward. But feeding those cattle when we have them there, and then when we don't have any in the feedlot, we go out to some lease land that we have where we keep a lot of our mama cow herds, and we're constantly checking them. That's a daily task, regardless if we have some we're feeding out or not. So just the overall health and general care for our what we're doing is something that is a day-to-day task.
Yeah, anybody who's food with cows will recognize that you have to check on them, right? Especially when they start having calves. And I mean, no, it's just it's a 24/7 process, isn't it? I mean, you have to be close by. To
give you a quick example, I mean, I had a cow one night that started calving, and it was her first calf, and I went up there and I had her up at the barn just due to the fact it was her first calf, and she had just started calving. I mean, the calf was just starting to creep out the back, and you want to let it be natural as much as possible, but you also want to be there and be aware, so in case you need to do something. And so I left. This was at 8 o'clock in the evening, and I went back down to the house. About 12:45, I couldn't go to sleep, so I went back up there. And she had made no progress. So to spare you some of the details and all the aggravation of getting her into the chute, which was on the other side of the barn, come 4 o'clock in the morning, I finally had her in the chute, and turns out that calf was backwards. And she couldn't get that calf out. And, you know, I'm not acting like a hero here, but, I mean, this is any person who's dealt with cattle and calving.
You got to do what you got to do.
If you're not there to see that, they'll lose them a lot of times.
That's right.
And so we managed to get that calf pulled without too much issue, and then within 10 or 15 minutes of her being in there and pushing with me, pulling, calf come out, calf was fine, she was fine, and good to go. But I can tell you 100 stories of watching them be birthed naturally. I mean, the first calf I ever pulled, since I'm kind of new to this and didn't grow up doing it, the first calf I ever pulled, I was feeding hay one night, and cow's laying there beside the hay ring, and she's calving right there. And I jumped out and freaked out and pulled the calf, and it really wasn't necessary. She would have calved her, no problem. But it was just an exciting thing to see. So that gives you an idea of how that, there are a lot of people who want to get into this kind of thing just like I did, but you don't realize the depth and level of work and effort and lack of sleep and constantly concerned about this, that, or the other that you'll go through until you're in it.
That's right. That's right. All right. So how can people get in contact with you? What's the best way to do that?
Yeah, so the best way is we have a messaging system through our website. So I encourage everybody to go on the website and look through it there before they contact me, not because I'm unwilling to answer questions, just because I want you to see it for yourself. But if you want to contact me directly, I'll even give you my cell phone number. It's 334-208-7244. That's my direct line. You can call me anytime, day or night, if you have questions or you want to come out to my place and visit and talk about how we got into this or how you can purchase. And there are a lot of people who are not tech savvy. I'll be straight with you, I'm not tech savvy. I had somebody build the website for me. Now, I'm pretty connected to it, but I'm not tech savvy in that regard. I mean, I can operate general stuff, but if you're not that and you don't want to fool with that and you'd rather just call me and talk to me, feel free to reach out to me anytime. We also have an email system. Our primary email for the business is beef, that's BEEF, at culbertsoncattleco.com. And you can email me on there. I check that daily. And if there's anything that someone needs, if you're a face-to-face person like I am, you can come see me, reach out to me, and meet up with me. I'll be happy to talk anytime. So.
All right. Culbertson's Cattle Company. Kobe, thank you, man.
Hey, thank you for having me on.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it. It means a lot.
We wish you the best of luck, and we'll share information on our Facebook, on the United Country McDaniel Graves Realty's Facebook page and Instagram. We'll share the contact information for Kobe as well. So thank y'all. I hope you have a good week, and we'll see everybody next week.